Hello, my name is Frank Christensen and I'm the coordinator of officials for IFAF in Europe. In this training tape, we're going to have a look at the specific type of unsportsmanlike conduct that deals with pulling and pushing off of the pile. The text of the rule says it has to be forcible, and we'll look at how much is enough for it to be forcible and what is simply not enough. But before we get to the game film, let's have a look to see what the rule book and the MOFO have to say on this topic. In the rule book, we go to 9.2.1 unsportsmanlike conduct. Specifically prohibited acts and conduct include: no player, substitute coach, or other person subject to the rules shall use abusive, threatening, or obscene language or gestures or engage in such acts that provoke ill will or are demeaning to an opponent, to game officials, or to the image of the game, including but not limited to. And here comes the one that is relevant for this training tape, which is K. After the ball is dead, using forcible contact to push or pull an opponent off the pile. And that was the book. Now let's have a look at some game film. The operative word here is forcible. What is forcible, and when is it enough or too much, rather? These first two examples we'll see a good call. So the tailback here is going to, right there, pull somebody off. Now, it's not the worst act ever, but it is something that is going to cause issues later on. So this is something that we would want called, and you know, either wing, probably the wing down here at the bottom, center judge, umpire, referee certainly would have a chance to see this. But this is enough that we could use this rule, and we should call this. Before we had an offensive player, this time it's a defensive player who's going to pull an opponent off the pile. He's coming in here fairly late, and right there he starts to grabs a leg, and it has nothing to do with football at all, and it is going to cause animosity and trouble later on if we don't call it. So it's a good call by both the umpire and the referee, and again, it's not forcible in the targeting sense of the word, but it is because it's so unrelated to football, and it is a forceful act, and it is something that we want to get rid of, and that's why this is a good call. On this play, we're looking at the quarterback, and in this play and the next, there just isn't enough for a good call. And this is really the difference compared to the previous two, the first two plays. Here, number 4, he does do a little push there, but it's certainly not forcible in the sense that we wanted for this rule. There is a slight little push, but this is not enough, and this is not what we want to get out of the game. In this last play, we're looking at A60, the left tackle. And of course, it's going to happen after the play, but he's going to come over there and do this little shove, and it's just not forcible enough. Now, if it had been enough that the red player had landed on his back, now we can talk about it being forcible enough. But here, even though it is a push to get an opponent off a pile, the judgment has to be that it has to be forcible, and this is not the case. So that was the training tape. I hope it shows what is enough and what isn't enough, and I certainly hope you found something you can use on the field.